Hey everybody, Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts here. This is kind of one of those do it scrappy kinds of situations. So I have a show this weekend. If you follow me, you've heard me talk about, which means I'm not going to be able to do my craft with me whichever day, Saturday or Sunday, because I'll be at the show all day Saturday, and I know that Sunday when I get home, I'm going to be exhausted and needing to spend some time with the dogs and my husband. So I have this idea because I want to take this to my vendor space before I leave town tomorrow, because they're having an event tomorrow night that I'm going to miss. And so I figured if I tried to do it, I would make a video, and this would be my craft with me Saturday. So this is from last year. This is the Chalk Couture, the wooden trees that came in a set of 3 various sizes. And so there's like a stick, like a dowel rod that goes in there that makes it a tree. But I got the idea to actually turn it into a witch's hat. So paint this all black, glue the cone to the base, and then I have some black feathers from a feather boa that I am going to glue around there, and I'm gonna go see what the dog's barking at first. And of course they weren't barking at anything, or at least not that I could determine. So I'm gonna start with the base. Okay. Like I said, I decided to I'm putting hardware on these earrings, and I was sitting here thinking, okay, if I'm gonna try to record this video, I should kind of do it while I'm doing the earrings, because this is all gonna have to dry, and so I can put some more findings on the earrings while it's drying, and you know, all of that. So anyway, so first thing I'm gonna do is just paint this base black. I'm not really sure how many coats of paint this is gonna take. Oh, my brush. How much this wood is gonna absorb. So we shall see. Okay, so as it turned out, this only needed 1 coat of paint. I did paint the bottom of the base. I'm not painting the bottom of the cone. Partially because of time, partially just to make sure that the glue sticks to the wood, not to the paint. I've got my glue gun heated up here, hopefully hot enough. So we're gonna hold this over, and I'm gonna put the glue on the bottom of this just to make sure that I have it placed properly. I don't want to like put the glue too wide, and of course this isn't going to work because shoot. So I have a new glue stick in the gun. Hold on a second. Nope, that's not gonna work. Wonder if I use 2 of them. I have these. There we go. Empty spools, empty ribbon spools. So I'm gonna use quite a bit. over. Shut down on here. This is Gorilla Glue, so it tends to adhere pretty quickly. And I don't have as much trouble with it breaking as like some of the other glues that I've used. So I'm going to chalk a design on this. I was kind of hoping to use the one I have that says "There's a little witch in all of us," but I don't think this is wide enough. If I was using one of the bigger cones, it might work. So I have the Hello Fall transfer that has a cute little leaf design that I used on the witch's hat in our mystery box challenge. So I think I'm going to use that. So I'm going to get that in my paste and we're going to chalk that on. And then I'm going to get my feathers, which, oh Lord, I'm going to have feathers everywhere again. Which means I might have to get the earrings out of the way first. Okay, so we're using the Hello Fall transfer and we're going to use the little floral pieces. And we're going to apply this with Shimmer Gold and Nominee. No, sorry, Superstitious and Nominee. So the first thing I want to do is get my transfer onto the cone. Round surfaces are kind of tricky, and this particular transfer is one I have used multiple times, so it's, you know, coming up on the edges. I don't want to make the transfer stick to itself. And so I'm gonna just kind of lightly do this. I don't want to push down too hard because I don't want to make the transfer stick to itself. I don't really need to fuzz the transfer because I've used it so much, but my paste is a little dry and I don't have a stir stick handy because, again, this was kind of an off-the-cuff decision. We're going to go around on this side and I'm just sort of trying to hold the transfer in place on the edges where it's kind of coming up off the cone. And, you know, if some places pull up and it has a little bit of a distressed look to it, I'm not going to worry about that too terribly much. Lay that down. So, not too bad. Not great. Well, shouldn't say not great. Not like perfect in its application. And all I'm gonna do is take a paper towel and wipe the excess paste off the front of the transfer, just so when I touch it, I don't get superstition all over my fingers. And then I'm going to come around on the back side and use this other floral design. I'm going to make sure that I'm spaced out far enough that I'm not overlapping with the superstition. Also try and make sure I'm not touching it with my other hand. So I'll be honest, I am not entirely sure if these trees are still part of the chalk collection, but I mean, really all you need is something cone shaped and something round that you could use as a base. There looks like a little few places on the base that could stand to touch up a little bit with a paintbrush, not enough to warrant like a whole other coat of paint, but just a little touch up. And that could have just been for me maybe not letting the paint dry long enough. So, you know, something cone shaped and then a round base and then just some sort of design. You could chalk a design if you have chalk transfer and paste or ink, where you could also cut something out of vinyl and apply it, or you could decoupage something. For those of you who might have seen it, I did that little print and cut cat the other day to go on a Halloween design that I was refreshing, and now I'm sort of like completely obsessed with that process, that idea. So we've got that one, which looks good. So I want something else over here, but I think I'm going to use the shimmer gold again. And I should be able to do this one more time. Oh, I just stuck my finger in it. Oh, but I didn't really smear it. Okay. This is the downside of kind of like not letting things dry. I should be able to get one more really out of each design without washing the transfer. And really I could just clean the transfer with a Clorox wipe and use it again. Trying to be efficient yet effective here. Pull that off. Got a little bit of bleed there. Okay, so I should probably wash that one more time before I use it, or wash that before I use it. So we've got that, and then kind of ideally I would try to go right there with the superstitious and right there with the superstitious. So I'm going to let this dry and clean the transfer. I should be able to get that design applied twice without having to clean it again. And then I'm going to go find my feather boa and get the earrings out of the way, because once I start messing with that feather boa, there's going to be earrings everywhere, or feathers everywhere, earrings everywhere. I mean, there's earrings everywhere, but I'll be back. Okay, so I finished chalking this around the cone on the hat. And I was starting to cut the boa for the feathers. And as I kind of put it around the base, excuse me, I realized it didn't really look the way I wanted. Like the feathers kind of took over everything. Shock. And it didn't actually, in the end, look like a witch's hat. So I have this fabric that I think might end up making this look more like what I wanted. I'm not exactly sure how to go about getting it that way, but we're gonna give this a shot. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the base here. And I'm gonna use my scissors to try to flatten that out some, because what's gonna happen, oh no, that was a bad idea, never mind, that didn't work, don't do that. Is it's gonna make it so this isn't flat, and so it won't sit flat. Okay, so first of all, let me see what that did to it. No, that didn't do too much. Okay, so that's okay. I glue all over my scissors. And so then I'm gonna kind of try to position it all the way I want it. And I might have to glue a little more around the bottom, but I want to do that last. I kind of tuck that under. Okay, so I think that looks more like a witch's hat and more like what I was wanting. The trick is going to be getting it kind of glued that way. You know, I want to keep the fabric loose and in these little kind of natural layers. Or natural gathers, I guess is what I should say. This is the piece right here that I tucked under. So we're going to glue that down to the base so it tucks in the way I need it to. And then glue some right here. And then I'm gonna have to glue the fabric to itself in a couple of places. So that it stays. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this up and see kind of what I've got going on here. Okay, so I've got this part falling, which is fine because I don't think I've glued that anywhere. So we're gonna bring it around here and we're going to tuck this under as well. Okay, I like this glue gun a lot. It works better than any other glue gun I've ever used. But getting it on and off the base is a pain. Got that. that gathered. I might have gathered that a little bit too much. Well, no, because if I fold that down. So when I tucked that piece under there to gather, it like wasn't covering the base. There was no fabric covering the base at all, but I pulled a little bit of the fabric down and it should be okay. Glue all over my fingers. And the little piece won't come off. There we go. Okay. So now we just have to figure out, I kind of need to even it out. And I probably need to use my little ribbon spools again to kind of hold that in place carefully, because I don't want to scrape the paste off. But I'm gonna need to glue some of this ribbon, or some of this fabric, to the base underneath so that it holds. Okay, that might actually be okay. Careful. So I have a weird thing going on over here. This part. Okay, I feel like I keep getting the same piece of fabric stuck. To my fingers. I need to glue some of this down right here. I'm scraping that paste right off. So I feel like it's a little uneven on one side. You know, I'm not sure if y'all can see, but like this side, it's just a little bit uneven. But I could make that the back. So I just don't feel like it looks like a witch's hat. Maybe the fabric is up too high. Maybe I need to, maybe I have too much fabric. I need to glue some of it down to know that that's not. Oh, that's what I need to do, maybe. Flatten some of this out. Okay, so if I like flatten some of this out, I think that's what the issue is. Okay, so what I need to do is, one, I think I have too much fabric. So that was a little bit of the problem. Okay, a little bit of glue there just to hold some of this so it covers the base, right? And then we kind of spread the fabric out somehow. No, that's still not giving me the look that I was going for. Need more fabric? Does that need to be wider? Don't know how I would do that at this point. Okay, and that doesn't work because that just falls down. So I need to glue that there. You know, I feel like if I had maybe if I had a little something that I could then glue the whole thing onto, that would, ooh, hot. Oh goodness, nothing like glue gun burns on your fingers. That I could glue the whole thing onto. Keep pulling it up. Okay, well that's looking a little more like what I wanted, although you can see the glue there, which I can probably paint over. I don't know if my proportions are just wrong. I think, you know, I've got fabric sticking up in the back here and flat everywhere else. You can see that bugs me. Probably glue that and flatten it down. But okay, so I'm gonna mess with this for just a few more minutes on the glue side of it, and then I'm gonna have to kind of, just from a time perspective, I'm gonna have to make a decision. Either it's done and it's going up to my vendor space, or it's just gonna have to wait until I can spend a little more time thinking about it and messing with it. So I'll be back. Okay, so I think I got the fabric how I wanted it, and then I decided to go ahead and just add a few feathers, and I think it looks pretty close to the way I wanted it. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't sell, then I'll, you know, keep it for myself or try to add some more feathers or see if I can find something to sit underneath it to make a base, to make it look a little more like a hat. But we're gonna go with it for now. So thanks for watching.